Welcome back. It's another Creaky Bloody Gamers battle report. Let's get on with it.
Okay, g'day viewers. It's the Orcs are back on the table. So after a dabbling with the Tomb Kings, I'm going to be taking some terror tests and so on. So as you can see, this is have some bad experiences with terror and my big blocks of Black Orcs. And then I did try the nomadic warg for a little while. I might go back to that. But this is my latest list. So the Great Keef is back with his troll hide trousers, talisman of protection, and his great weapon on Dustfang, his trusty wyvern. And then he's got his brother LJ Buttcracker on the wyvern with choppiest chopper and troll hide trousers. There's my little level 4 goblin shaman. I actually tweak things around, so when I go to the tournament, he's on a wolf instead, and the level 2 goblin shaman, night goblin shaman. Just the tack so I can have some night goblins. And this is my little unit of 5. That's a stubborn unit with 2 great weapons and shields on the other 3. Another 3 Black Orcs, just my tax for taking the Black Orc heroes, the war bosses. And there's the mighty Araboys are back. 40 Araboys with the spider banner. They're going to try and redeem themselves. They've done okay in other battles. And I haven't disgraced themselves except when they've run off in terror. I'm trying to wean myself off fanatics. So there's one unit of 30 night goblins with short bows and fanatics, because the fanatics drive me nuts sometimes. But I mean, you took a few more, they might be okay. There's the secret weapon in this army is going to be put together as 5 bases of snotlings. It's 175 points of snotlings, so we'll see how they go. A couple of doom divers just to drive me nuts as well, but they can do well. I complain about them, but they can do well sometimes. All right, so I've got a couple of min units of Black Orcs and the 2 wyverns, the brothers on the wyverns, the Great Keef and his brother LJ Buttcracker. Right, then round 1, we went to a local tourney at the local shop where we're trying to encourage some new players. So we didn't have any painting requirements. And this is a Chaos army. He's got a Demon Prince, some Marauders, lovely cardboard movement tray, and some more warriors. So that's it's just a quickly thrown together Chaos Warrior army, I think. And we're just playing pitch battle across the table in each of the scenarios because there was a lot of new players with unpainted armies. So we'll have a look at the first battle versus Chaos. I try not to win too bad. When you're playing a new player and you're teaching them how to play, you try not to win, but his army was that suboptimal. Anyway, there's the Black Orcs. I tried put them in marching column to sneak them up a flank. There's the Night Goblins on the hill, and there's the level 4. He's on the wolf. There's the mighty Araboys, and the Great Keef's behind them, babysitting them, so they don't run away in terror. Although they've got decent leadership if I rank them up like that. 1 Doom Diver, the other Doom Diver out on that flank. Some more Black Orcs with the level 2 Night Gobbo Shaman. And then my secret weapon, the Snotlings, have scouted forward.
Let's go. Turn 1.
Okay, so there was a Doom Diver right there, so I blew up one of my own Doom Divers on turn 1. Little bit of shooting, marched up both flanks, and then in his turn he flung a few spells at me, shuffled around a bit. I made sure he didn't show me any flanks and so on. And then we moved into turn 2, so not that much happened on turn 1.
Turn 2.
Okay, so we're into turn 2, and he's got a couple of level 4s, so he's thrown out a pillar of fire, and that was coming towards the Araboys, so I travelled mystical pathway them out of the way of the pillar of fire. Buttcracker went into the knights, and then I found out that the knights are actually chosen knights, so he issued a challenge to protect them. Buttcracker's going to win the challenge and push the knights back a little bit. And then I offered up the Snotlings as a sacrifice to his Chaos Warriors there. So he's going to go into the Snotlings. So the Snotlings will keep those Warriors busy for a little while, I hope. They're a bit close to the edge of the table, though, which was a mistake. Yeah, so those Warriors, he's got a blender Exalted Champion with extra attacks and extra arm or something, and extra And he's got a lot of attacks, like 7 or 8 attacks with the one character. So he gets stuck into the snotlings. Luckily, he kills enough, and I'm like a millimetre from just falling, giving ground off the table. That's the problem with swarms, unbreakable swarms. They still have to give ground. So that's a bit of a problem. I'll have to remember that later on. Yeah, so there's only 3 bases left, and he follows up there. And then I'm going to finish off the chosen knights up the back there and run off the table with Buttcracker. So he kills most of the knights except the standard and chases them off. He's got his Demon Prince in the middle here with his level 4 in that Chaos Warrior unit. So he's flinging a lot of spells at me. And I think he just spelled the Foot of Gork. My little Black Orc mob there is fast marching up over the hill maybe, or maybe that might turn inwards now. And we'll go into turn 3.
Turn 3.
Right, then what are we into? Turn 3, his Demon Prince has taken a couple of wounds, and I'm just explaining how his Gaze of the Gods works. My Snotlings are holding up those warriors, keeping them entertained for a little while. But his Demon Prince is taking a couple of wounds, got Plague of Rust on him at the moment. And then I explained to him how the Demon Prince has got 360-degree charge arc, so he could go into the Great Keef there. So he does take that charge just to have a bit of fun and see if he could kill the Great Keef. So we'll see what happens there. His Demon Prince is tooled up with, I think he's got a Killing Blow sword and a Demonic Plate Mail, and he's a level 4 and so on. So he might do some damage there. We'll see what happens. And yeah, that's the end of my Snotlings. So they kept those warriors entertained for a little while. But now those warriors are way out on that flank with nothing to do. But they did kill 175 points of Snotlings. And his Demon Prince is going to take that charge and charge the Great Keef. So I just threw the Great Keef up there just to see what happens, because he was just getting surrounded and shot. So he wants to do something to get out of trouble. So the Demon Prince will go in there, and they'll fight for a couple of turns, and we'll be into turn 4. Let's have a look.
Turn 4.
Alright, turn 4, and the Great Keef, over a couple of rounds of combat, he takes a wound, maybe, and he finishes off the Demon Prince, and then his Warriors unit is just surrounded, so the Araboys are going to charge them as well. I do have the Thinking Orcs hat on the champion of the Araboys, but I thought I'd throw him in there anyway, and the Great Keef goes into the rear, I think. And I didn't even put the Black Orcs into the flank. The Black Orcs could have gone into the flank there as well. So I left the glory for the Araboys. They don't do too well in combat, but poison attacks, etc. But the Great Keef cleaned up from the rear, so his Demon Prince is dead. And then over a couple of rounds, the Chaos Warriors, they held, I think, for a turn, maybe a double one or something. And so we turned our attention then to the Marauders in the middle. He's still got the other warriors on the other side, but he's got no magic left. He's lost both his level 4s and the warriors. And then the level 2 shaman gets out of that unit of Black Orcs, and the Black Orcs decide to charge the Marauders. Or maybe it was the other way around. Either way, there's a little combat here between my little mini unit of Black Orcs and the Marauders. And there's the shaman that left the Black Orcs to their own devices. And that little unit of Black Orcs managed to actually beat up the Marauders. They're so tough, the Black Orcs. Then Buttcracker comes back on the table after killing the Chosen Knights. And that's pretty much it. I think we call it quits at the end there. He's still got his warriors with his Exalted Hero, Blender Hero, out on his right flank. But he lost his other warriors in the middle. But it was a learning game. I feel pretty bad beating him up so bad, but I was teaching him how to play along the way and about magic, etc. And he did go on to win one of his other games. I think he might have won his round 2 game or something versus Bretonnians, where he killing blowed a lord on a Pegasus or something. So he did have a good game, did learn a lot about his army and what to do, and Gaze of the Gods, etc. and spells. So hopefully we're having one of these tournaments once a month at the local shop at Hall of Heroes. So hopefully we get some get some return visitors with some more paint on their armies, etc. So that was it, a victory in a learning game to the Orcs. I think if we had we didn't have any comp restrictions. I wish we had some sort of comp guide for people. I sort of followed the Throne of Skulls restrictions with only a single level 4, but I've still got 2 Black Orcs on Wyvern, so it's not a soft list by any means. But a couple of people did turn up with dragons. There was a High Elf dragon that won the day, and I think a Dark Elf dragon was there, and I had a couple of Wyverns. But anyway, it was meant to be a fun day. I think everybody had a good time, so hopefully we'll see some return people next month. And maybe we should put in some comp restrictions just as a guide, because people don't have any idea. You don't know who's going to turn up with a dragon or something. So I think if you're just having a fun day, you should have some sort of guide about what makes a decent army, because one person's idea of what a fair and even army is totally different to someone else's. Anyway, it was a good day out. I'm going to put up this battle report now, and then I'll show you round 2 and 3 when I get around to it. Round 2, I'm up against a mostly unpainted Empire army, and then the final round's against Chaos Dwarves. I seem to be hitting a lot of Chaos Dwarves lately. Anyway, a learning game. Round 1, big victory to the Orcs. We did our best to try and not win by too much, but Chaos Warriors aren't that great, as we know. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you for round 2. Bye for now.
This show is awful.
Terrible.
Disgusting.
See you next week.
Of course.